Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So, very unexpected video live stream. Um, just some news, some breaking news, if you like, in the Nancy Guthrie case. Oh, yeah, there you go. I'm live, I'm live, I'm live, I'm live. Okay. Now, first thing I've got to do before I start is just apologise for part of the thumbnail because I was on the good old Twitter. You can rely on Twitter for reliable information, can't you? And they were saying, somebody was saying on there that Savannah had removed her Instagram appeals about Nancy. So that's why I included that in the thumbnail. As far as I can see, there's still, of course, I should have checked them first before I put them in the thumbnail, but I didn't have much time. So I sort of set up the live, got organised for the live because I wanted to do a live anyway because I wanted to give you the other bit of information, breaking news that I've got for you, which is that a new email has come into TMZ that's supposed to be not from the actual kidnapper, but the person who knows who the kidnapper is. If you believe, honestly, I do feel that if you believe that, I have got a tin of tartan paint to sell you. I'm not buying these ransom notes. I don't know, I think somebody's messing around. I don't know who or why, but anyway, we'll see. And then I saw this thing on Twitter. Somebody was saying, oh, yes, Savannah's taken all the posts down now. This new email's come through. There must be a break in the case. Something's going to break. And I was so excited by the thought that we may finally be getting somewhere in this awful case. That made the thumbnail and put up there. But I have to say, I don't think Savannah has taken her Instagram appeals down. I've just looked on her Instagram and I think they're all still there. So I'm going to have to change that. But anyway, just to let you know that before I get started. But the thing that is true, just let me draw attention to my banner at the bottom. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, subscribing, being a member. Those of you who sent Ko-fis or super stickers, etc. All those lovely things you do to support my channel. Thank you so much. Hello, lovely lurkers. And hello, replay crew. Thank you for watching. Okay, so let's talk about this. So the thing that has happened, definitely happened, is that TMZ apparently, well, they say they have received a new email. Now, as I say, if you remember about TMZ, they did receive emails supposedly from the kidnappers. You know, the one that said that Nancy had been taken, and if you don't pay this amount, oh, hello, Savannah. If you don't pay this amount, you know, we have your mother, Nancy. If you don't pay this amount before a certain date, we're gonna kill her. That was supposed to be the first ransom note. Then the second note came saying, oh, sorry, she's died. We didn't get a chance to kill her, but she has actually died. Sorry about that. You know, it was a mistake. She's buried with nature. She's perished. Those were the exact words that they used. That was that note, but they weren't saying, you know, we can give you a body back for a fee. You know, they weren't asking for any more money. That was it then. It was like, first one was, yeah, we've got Nancy, we want all this money. If you don't pay it, we're going to kill her. Second one was, oopsie, she's dead. She died by accident. We didn't mean for it to happen. Sorry about that. She's buried with nature, but she's perished. I mean, they just don't feel right, do they? Do you know, like, anyway, not in my opinion anyway. I think the notes are well dodgy. The emails are well dodgy. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Louise. Thanks for being in the chat. Anyway, so whether you believe those ransom notes are real or not, Savannah said she thought that those two probably were. And that's probably what she'd been told by the FBI. Maybe they were. Maybe somebody did really go kidnap Nancy. And then because of her being, so frail and, with heart issues, etc., maybe she did die by accident. And they said she was buried in nature. Funny that, isn't it? I've been thinking about that a lot. It does almost sound like a very poetic way to, someone's perished, someone's buried in nature. I was just wondering now, thinking about it, because some podcasters are saying, was it translated like from Spanish? Did someone put it in AI, like to translate, write it in Spanish and then put it into ChatGPT or Google Translate and translate it? And is that why it came over a little bit strange? But I just don't see. I can't see how a translator, and I know about translators, I've used them, with my job as a Spanish teacher, and, I've done interpreting and translating for people, and sometimes not ChatGPT, I don't use that, but I've used Google Translate occasionally for words that I'm not sure of, or to try and find the right word. And normally, unless you actually put in, if you'd have to put in buried in nature, which in Spanish would be enterrado en la natura. You'd have to put that into for it to come up with buried in nature. I can't see how they can come up with that any other way, personally. Then it actually, unless that was actually put in Google Translate. But, I could be wrong. Maybe it's true. Maybe somebody did write out the note in Spanish and then put it through AI and it came up with those weirdy phrases. And I know perished is not a weird word. It's a word, but I still think it's a strange word to use. Perished. She perished. Why not? She sadly passed. Or, she died simply. Oh God, my voice is going. My voice is going. I've not even got started. So yeah, very strange notes anyway, aren't they? And the FBI have even said now that they think there's a feminine influence in the notes, don't they? So anyway, that seems to have really peed off this other person. So then TMZ started getting letters or emails from someone who said they were not the perpetrator, but they knew who the perpetrator was, didn't they? So suddenly TMZ is getting emails from some other person who says they're not the kidnapper, but they know who the kidnapper is. Nancy died by mistake. I think he said, or she said, Nancy died by mistake. And they asked for 1 Bitcoin to be put into a Bitcoin wallet so that they would have enough money to just hide. Because they said that once it came out, they would have to hide from the perpetrator. They would be a marked person. Anyway, that money was never put in. Don't know why they didn't put it in, really. Try and lure this person out into the open. Their emails have never been traced, just like the other emails have never been traced, as far as we know. As far as we know, I mean, they may have been traced. And the FBI is just not talking about it. Anyway, of course, TMZ went to the FBI with all these things, and then they offered the FBI, they said to them that they would pay the Bitcoin and they would make a documentary about it. Then the FBI cut off all contact with them. But recently, apparently, why all this is going on with TMZ, I don't know. TMZ are a Hollywood gossip magazine at the end of the day. No disrespect to them, what they do, they get big scoops. They get they're always up to date with stories that are going on around Hollywood, etc. But why would a kidnapper choose to converse through TMZ? Well, to me, they're doing that because they want the maximum publicity. And that is very unusual for a kidnapper. Kidnappers normally don't want any publicity. Now we've got a kidnapper here with Nancy, supposedly, who loves publicity, wants everybody to be talking about it, wants to draw attention to themselves, not just sort of hide under the parapet. That again just seems weird to me. But anyway, I don't know. I don't know what happened to Nancy. Maybe they're just a weird kidnapper. I don't know. Anyway, so this person is not saying they're the kidnapper. They're saying they know who the kidnapper is. I think, didn't they say that she had been taken over the border to Mexico? Then last married in Mexico, and those Mexican ladies who look for, victims of the cartels, etc. They went out digging in Nogales to try and find Nancy's remains, but nothing's been found as far as we know anyway. And then now this new email from the supposed friend of the kidnappers or acquaintance is saying, no, that's a load of rubbish. That about that tip is a load of rubbish. And it's a load of rubbish that the kidnapper is a woman or there's any feminine influence. That's all rubbish. That's what he's saying in his late, and I'm saying he because he's virtually saying he is a he. Of course, the other thing is to consider, why should we take any of these emails at face value? We don't know that they're genuine emails. It's somebody who's clever at covering their tracks because they've not been traced yet by the FBI, or at least as far as we know. So they're clever in that way. But what is the purpose of what they're doing? Why are they sending emails to TMZ? I just don't get it at all. It seems really weird to me. Anyway, they obviously know what they're doing as far as covering their tracks with the Bitcoin wallet and the emails because they haven't been traced. So let me read to you what TMZ say. I mean, they're not publishing the email. They should really just publish the email. But anyway, new demand letter claiming video of Nancy. So not only are they saying, that they know who kidnapped Nancy, etc., they're saying that they've got a video of Nancy with the kidnapper. Well, why don't they just send it? Why don't they just send the video? Or is that what they're asking for money for? It's odd, isn't it? Is it just me who thinks it's really odd, the whole thing? How can it be real? Wonder what the FBI make of it. Do you think they think these are genuine? Oh gosh, of course we don't know what the FBI are thinking because they're not telling us, but just seemed to me really, really odd. Right, I've got to take this photo off so that I can share the article. But I can't find it to take it off. Where is it? Oh, there it is. So I'm going to share this article. What do you make of it? Do you think the ransom notes are genuine? What about the note from the person who says they know the kidnapper? Are they genuine? they seem to have sent this letter. It seems to me they've sent this email because they were a bit annoyed, like these reports of the Mexican ladies getting the tip that Nancy's buried in Mexico, that the FBI then stopped all contact with TMZ, but lately they've contacted them again and said so apparently, I mean, you just like, I'm bewildered by this case. It's the weirdest case I've ever covered. So apparently the FBI said to TMZ, oh, we cut off contact with you because we were getting close to finding out who Porch Guy is. Then you've got the ex-FBI agent Maureen, who was on another podcast saying she was 75% certain they were, they knew who Porch Guy was. It was all going to come out and the floodgates would open. Then you've got other people saying, no, she's making that all up. They don't know who it is. They're no nearer, like even Brian Enton is saying that, and he's a friend of Maureen's. He often has her on his show. Oi, stop it. Sorry, that's the dog. She's burying her, she's having this phantom pregnancy. She's burying her ball behind the sofa. That's her baby. But that is me who has to dig it out. Anyway. So it's so confusing, isn't it? So you've got Brian Enton saying he's got sources telling him, no, they're no closer to finding out who Porch Guy is. And then you've got Maureen, is it Maureen O'Connell her name? The ex-FBI agent, who actually many times is on the Brian Enton show, but it wasn't on his show. It was on was it Megyn Kelly, is that her name? Show that she said, she was 75% certain that the police are on the verge of announcing who Porch Guy is. And when that happens, the floodgates will open in this case. So what's the truth? What is the truth? And then in the middle of all that going on, you've got this new letter, a new demand letter, it says. I don't know if it's a demand or not. Maybe it is. New demand letter claiming a video of Nancy with the kidnapper. Poor Nancy. So apparently TMZ has received yet another email from the person claiming to know the identities of Nancy Guthrie's kidnappers. And this time he says he has video of the main guy and Nancy the day she died. We have authenticated that the new email is from the same person who sent us the previous ones. He references an old Bitcoin address, which matches, as does his alias in the email. I'll play that video in a minute. He seems to scoff at our report that the FBI believes the person who wrote the email might be a woman. I didn't like that. He goes on to say, I am not the idiot who recently called in a tip about her burial site in Mexico. So that's a bit derogatory, isn't it? I am not the idiot who recently called in a tip about her burial site in Mexico. So something's peed this person off, hasn't it? He claims there are 2 kidnappers. So in this new missive, he says there are 2 kidnappers. Previously, he did say there was more than one, but he didn't say a specific number. Look at these. These are very, very distinctive eyes. This Porch Guy or Porch Girl has got. I'm still not sure it's an all. Someone disguising their eyes. I don't know. Anyway. Then he drops new claims. He says, I have a phone stashed in a secure location, guaranteeing both the information it stores and the safety of the phone. He goes on to say, what it contains is my definition of delivering them on a silver platter. a short video of the main guy with Nancy, the day that was probably her last. Pictures of both involved, names, addresses, and age. Well, he's taking a bit of a chance, isn't he, to surely, right, let's just make sense of this. He sent this to TMZ, who have splattered it all over social media, which means people like me have picked up on it and splattered it all over our social media. So it'll be growing and growing and growing. And he's saying, I have a phone stashed in a secure location. Well, how many people aren't the kidnappers going to know who he is? How many people are likely to have taken a video of Nancy with the main guy? Surely, that's dangerous what they're saying. Where the kidnapper's going to be reading that and go, oh, that's Jose. Remember he took that video. Go and get Jose, we'll teach him a lesson. But according to this guy or this email, what it contains is my definition of delivering them on a silver platter. A short video of the main guy with Nancy, the day that was probably her last. Pictures of both involved, names, addresses, and age. Well, he's going to be a marked man, surely now. He claims that the phone is in a location that is easy to access if you know where it is. Well, I've got to admit, I did chuckle when I saw that. A location that's easy to access if you know where it is. Well, if you know where it is, it would be easy to access, wouldn't it? But it's difficult to access when you bloody don't know where it is. Anyway, he says he will ante up the password for 1 Bitcoin, and he gives a new Bitcoin address. So this is still trying to get his 1 Bitcoin. Well, how can they not pay that? How can they not pay? They should pay that 1 Bitcoin and see what happens. We have posted our reaction to his demand, which is to say that he should send us 1 screen grab of Nancy to authenticate his claim, and we have forwarded the email to the FBI. So now it's in the guy's court. So TMZ said they have emailed him back and said send a screen grab of Nancy to authenticate his claim. Why don't they just pay the Bitcoin and, well, it'd be able to be traced then? I mean, it's weird. This case is the weirdest case. But let's see the video of Harvey Levin, I think his name is, isn't he? The CEO of TMZ. Is it me, or is there a bit of duping delight in his face there? But anyway, we'll see.
Perfection is forever. The Cirrus 2 massage chair from Commodore will...
Let's see.
Who says he knows who Nancy Guthrie's kidnappers are and can lead the FBI to those kidnappers for 1 Bitcoin. So the man writes that he has clearly been following things we've been saying, questioning the FBI telling us.
Oh, it's whirring. Stop whirring. Stupid thing. I'll move it forward a little bit. No, it's still whirring. Sorry. Just have to wait. I'll put it back to the beginning.
June 26th, and we have received another email from the man who says he knows who Nancy Guthrie's kidnappers are and can lead the FBI to those kidnappers for 1 Bitcoin. So the man writes that he has clearly been following things we've been saying. Question
We're in.
questioning the FBI telling us that the person who wrote this might be a female. The person does not say he's a male for sure, but he puts a big question mark there. And then also puts a question mark where we say we might be doing a documentary. So he says in this email that he is not, as he puts it, I am not the idiot who recently called in a tip about her burial site in Mexico. He goes on to say, only 2 are directly involved, and I doubt they would be the ones calling to snitch on themselves. So he has said to us before that there were multiple kidnappers and there was a main kidnapper, but definitely plural kidnappers. He has said that before. In this email, which by the way we have sent to the FBI, he says that he has video. He has video of Nancy Guthrie with the main kidnapper on what probably would be the last day of her life. That's the way he puts it here. He says, while what it contains is my definition of delivering it on a silver platter, a short video of the main guy with Nancy the day that was probably her last. He also says that he has names, addresses, phone numbers of the kidnappers. Now, he says he has that video in a phone, and the phone is turned off. It is in a secure, secret location, but a location easy to find if you know where to look. That's what he says. He doesn't say a safe deposit box, but he says easy to find if you know where to look. And he says that if he gets a Bitcoin, he will deliver, as he puts it, on a silver platter, exactly how to get access to this phone, including the password. So he did not, this is clearly the guy who has been sending us these emails, because he said,
So it's definitely true that this is the same guy that's been sending the other emails. Whether it's genuine that he's got this phone with the video, that was another bit of flowery language there, wasn't it? He said he will send it on a silver platter. Joe, have you ever known a hardened criminal, kidnapper, or an affiliate of a kidnap gang? You know, these ruthless people that have stolen an 84-year-old woman out of her bed and she's ended up dying, using words like, oh, silver platter, perished, buried in nature. I still think it's all weird to me, unless, again, is it from ChatGPT? You know, is that where silver platters come from? Who says that? You know, in normal, you know, I'm not talking about in literature and things like that. People say it, or I don't think you'd even say it to your friend, would you? Did you, if you were having a normal conversation with your friend, would you say, "Oh yes, I'm going to deliver that to you on a silver platter"? I don't know if it's normal, natural sort of language, but anyway. What do you think of it? Do you think they're genuine? Do you think they genuinely know who's kidnapped Nancy? Do you think they genuinely have this phone and this video in their possession, or do you think they're just trying to get Bitcoin?
As that the Bitcoin address he gave us before is no longer working. And he actually wrote the Bitcoin address down, and it does match what we saw previously, and we've never reported that. He gives a new Bitcoin address, and he says he wants a Bitcoin, and in return, he will basically deliver access to that phone, as he puts it, on a silver platter. So look, we've sent it to the FBI, and this has become such a cat and mouse game. If this person is real, then go to wherever that phone is and get a screen grab of something proving that you're not a liar and somebody who is trying to inflict more pain on the Guthrie family. If you've got something, send it. I mean, you've been sending us more than a dozen emails. Send us something to show you're not a fraudster. We'll obviously send that on to the FBI. But if you have that information, I would assume, I don't know, but I would assume that they would play ball with you.
Yeah, no. Right from the beginning, when the first kidnap notes came in, they've been asking for proof, haven't they? Remember, Savannah and the family sat there together and asked for proof of life, really, didn't they? Nothing has ever been sent by anybody. The nearest thing that has come for anyone that would, that made them think those ransom notes maybe were true, the first ones, because they knew where Nancy's Apple Watch was or something like that, and they knew the layout of the home. They knew, well, anyone who'd been in Nancy's home would know the layout of the home. I mean, if I had to guess where Nancy kept her Apple Watch, it would probably be on her bedside. I don't even need to have ever been in her bedroom to know that. Most people would leave their Apple Watch on their bedside table, especially as in her case when it's connected to her pacemaker. And I agree with you there, Louise. It's very reminiscent of the Yorkshire Ripper case, isn't it? And look how that somebody, some sado interfering in a serious case of a serial killer. Somebody actually sending tapes in and things, and it led the police off completely in the wrong direction. There's no doubt in my mind that Peter Sutcliffe, the Yorkshire Ripper, would have been caught much earlier if it wasn't for the fact that the police had in their head that it was a Geordie, someone from Newcastle, because of the accent of the man who spoke on the tapes. They even admitted that. Peter Sutcliffe was dismissed at some point because he wasn't a Geordie. This reminds me of that. They're interfering with this case. This is a serious case of this old lady who has, been terrified, been woken up at some point in the middle of the night by a man in a balaclava with a gun. And this idiot is interfering in the case. If he's got some real evidential information, put up or shut up. Stop interfering with the case. I think these people are so disturbed, aren't they? The ones that, if he's some random person just trying to get Bitcoin out of somebody's misery, or even not even trying to get Bitcoin, but just enjoying the attention. If some people really are that pathetic, that they like the attention they get from inserting themselves into a case. They even make false confessions, don't they? All sorts of things. And as far as the law enforcement are concerned, it just holds up the whole case and finding the real perpetrator. So that's what TMZ have asked the person for. A screen grab of the video, something to prove that it's a real video. But you know what? Even if he sends it, how do we know it's not AI generated? This is the world we live in now. He could quite easily put together a screen grab, and it might not even be genuine. A photo, because nowadays it's hard to tell what's photoshopped and what's not, isn't it? It's awful, really, isn't it? So all I can hope is that Maureen, the ex-FBI agent, is right, and the FBI are on the verge of finding out who Porch Guy is. Let me just play this to the end.
Send us something, because there are open, and we were allowed to say this, we know the FBI is still looking for you, and they believe you might be real, but they must have enough doubt that they haven't paid you the money. And it's clear you're frustrated, but the question is, are you a fraudster? And send us something. Send us a screen grab of something that would allow.
That's it. I don't like the look of Harvey's face there. He looks a bit scary, doesn't he? I don't know. I mean, listen, with the best will in the world, I'm sure TMZ are loving this, all this attention. They're getting obviously a lot of views and things because these kidnappers are, for whatever reason, or if kidnappers or fraudsters or whatever they are, they're using TMZ as their go-to place to get attention, aren't they? And yeah, Harvey looks almost amused by it all there. Not the best. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? He's got that smirk on his face. But anyway, maybe I'm just imagining it. I don't think for a minute he's kidnapped Nancy, let's put it that way. But I'm sure, as a media outlet, they're probably enjoying all the attention that they're getting from the fact that for some reason these emails, they've decided to make them their go-to place to send their emails to. Let's put a picture of Nancy back up. So at the heart of it all, of course, is Nancy. Who is this person or people? Was this the same night? The FBI will undoubtedly have a lot more sort of evidence that we don't know about, and that's fair enough. But are they on the verge of an arrest, as Maureen says, the ex-FBI agent, or are they still no further on, as other people are saying? And in the meantime, where is Nancy? Where is she? What do you think's happened to her? Is she buried in Mexico? Is she buried in nature close to home? Is she even buried in nature? I mean, is that even a genuine, no. We don't know, do we? So anyway, I wanted to let you know what was going on. I've got to go now. I try and get a little nap before I have to go and pick up number one son from work. Yeah, poor Nancy. But it's just so heartbreaking. I hope she's okay wherever she is, even if that's in the next world. I hope she's not sort of terrified somewhere or scared and ill and all those things. But you can bet whatever happened that night, Nancy, it won't have been nice for Nancy, will it? So, anyway. So thank you for caring about Nancy. Please remember to put your DNA on the like button. Please subscribe if you've not subscribed yet. And yeah, you can rest assured that if there's any more information comes out, I will be back on to talk about it as soon as I possibly can. So thank you, take care, and until I see you again, may your God go with you. Bye.